Hello grade 10 learners, have a nice day. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'll be discussing to you about combinations. After watching this video, you will be able to solve problems involving combinations. Before we go on, let us try to understand first about combination. Talking about combination, it refers to the number of ways of selecting from a set when the order is not important. The number of combinations of n objects taken R at a time is denoted by C quantity of n R. So this is read as combination of n taken R at a time is equal to n factorial over quantity of n minus R factorial where n is greater than or equal to R. So in other words, this is the formula for combination. Now let's try to evaluate. Combination of 8 taken 3. In other books, this is also written as 8 combination of 3. And even in your scientific calculator, it appears in this way. You can easily solve this if you have scientific calculator. Just look for NCR. So you will press 8, then you will press this symbol NCR, then your R here is 3, and then you press equals or equal sign. Then automatically it will give you an answer. But this time I'll be showing to you without using the calculator. So you know how to solve this manually. So in here, the value of R n is 8 and R is equal to 3. So this is our formula. Now let's substitute. So combination of 8 taken 3 at a time is equal to our n is 8. So we have 8 factorial over quantity of 8 minus R factorial times R factorial, which is 3. Now let's simplify. So we have 8 factorial, just copy the numerator. Then here we have to simplify first terms in the parentheses. So 8 minus 3, that is equal to 5. Then we have here factorial. That's why we have here 5 factorial times 3 factorial. Now, to evaluate this one, we have to expand 8 factorial up to 5 factorial. Why 5 factorial only? So we can divide the common factors, which is 5 factorial. So we have 8 factorial, 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. We'll add up to 5 factorial because in our denominator, we have here 5 factorial. Okay, then we will expand 3 factorial. So 3 times 2 times 1. Now we can cancel out or we can divide common factors. So we can divide 5 factorial, divide by 5 factorial, and that is already 1. Next, we also have 3 times 2, that is 6. So we can also divide that 1 to 6. So this is already 1. So the remaining factors is only 8 and 7. So we will multiply the remaining factors. So 8 times 7 is equal to 56. And in our denominator, we have 1. So 56 divided by 1, that is equal to 56. So this is now our answer. But if you will be using the calculator automatically, it will give you an answer of 56. Just press 8, then look for this symbol, then you have 3 and then equal sign. Another example wherein we will look for the value of our n. Okay, so we have find the value of n in the combination of n taken 2 is equal to 78. So we will be using again our formula. We will substitute. So we already have here the value of our combination, which is equal to 78. Then n is unknown, so we will just write n factorial over n, quantity of n minus 2 factorial, then 2 factorial. Now, we will expand to n factorial. We will expand n factorial up to quantity of n minus 2 factorial so we can divide the common factors. So we have here n factorial can be expanded as n times n minus 1 times n minus 2. Again, we will stop at quantity of n minus 2 since here in our denominator we have quantity of n minus 2, so we can divide. Okay? And we will expand to factorial. That's why we have here 2 times 1. Now we will divide the common factor. So we have n, quantity of n minus 2 factorial divided by n minus 2 factorial. That's already 1. Then the remaining factors will be multiplied. So we have to bring down 78. Then n times n is n squared. N times negative 1 is negative n. And here in our denominator, 2 times 1, we have 2. To solve for n, we are going to multiply this. We can do a cross multiplication. So 78 times 2, that is equal to 156. And the denominator of 78 is 1, so 1 times n squared minus n, so we have n squared minus n. Now we will be forming quadratic equation. So we have n squared minus n minus 156 is equal to 0. So this 156 is transposed to the right side of the equation. Okay, so this becomes negative 156, and then we'll just write. So we have n squared minus n minus 156 is equal to 0. Solve this by factoring. Factors of n squared are n times n, and factors of negative 156, that will give a sum of negative 1 is negative 13 times 12. Negative 13 times 12 is negative 156, but once we add negative 13 and 12, we will have a sum of negative 1. So this is our factors. Now we'll equate its factor with 0. So we have n minus 13 equals 0 and solve for n. So we have now n is equal to 13. On the other hand, we have n plus 12 is equal to 0 and solve for n. So we have negative 12. We will choose only the positive value. So we will disregard the value of n that is equal to negative 12. So meaning to say we will only choose the positive value as the value of our n. So therefore, Rn is equal to 13. So once we will check this, if n is equal to 13, taking 2 at a time, then we will have a combination value of 78. So n is equal to 13 is correct. Now let's solve the problem. In how many ways can a committee consisting of 4 members be formed from 9 people? So here, take note that problem involving combination, it consists of forming committee, selection, okay, grouping. So those are the clue words where we can say that a problem is an example of combination. Selection, grouping, forming committee. Okay, those are just some of the clue. So here we have 9 people, so that is the value of our n, and our r is equal to 4. So this is the formula Now let's substitute. So combination of 9 taken 4 at a time. So we have 9 factorial. Substitute again. 9 minus 4 factorial. Then we have here 4 factorial. So bring down the numerator part, 9 factorial. And of course, 9 minus 4, that is 5. We have 5 factorial times 4 factorial. We'll expand the numerator part up to 5 factorial since we have here 5 factorial in our denominator part. So 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. And then we will expand 4 factorial. It means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So we can divide the common factor. So 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial, that's already 1. Then 6 has factors of 3 times 2. Next, 8 can also be factored out as 4 times 2. So we can divide the common factors 4. So the only factors that is left is 9 and 2 in our numerator. So we will multiply 9 times 2, that is equal to 18, and it will be multiplied by 7, and that is equal to 126. And here in our denominator we have 1, so 126 divided by 1, that is still 126. Therefore, there are 126 ways to form a committee with 4 members from 9 people. Example number 4. In how many ways can you select 5 flower vases from 8 flower vases? So same, or n is equal to 8, and our r here is 5. So by formula, next, we have to substitute. So 8 factorial over quantity of 8 minus 5 factorial times 5 factorial. So we have here 8 factorial, then 8 minus 5 factorial is 3 factorial times 5 factorial. Next, expand 8 factorial up to 5 factorial. So we have 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. Then we will expand 3 factorial as 3 times 2 times 1. Divide the common factors. So we have 5 factorial and 5 factorial. That's already 1. We can also divide 6 because 6 is equal to 3 times 2. So the remaining factors is 1 in the denominator and 8 and 7 in the numerator. So we'll multiply 8 times 7 is 56 divided by 1, that is equal to 56. So therefore, there are 56 ways to select 5 flower vases from 8 flower vases. Next example, in how many ways can a team consisting of 3 boys and 4 girls be formed if there are 7 boys and 9 girls who qualify to be in the team? So this type of problem can be solved separated in 2 parts. Okay, first is the combination of 7 taken 3 at a time. This is the number of boys that can be chosen. On the other hand, the number of ways the girls can be chosen is combination of 9 taken 4. Why? Because we have here 9 girls, and according to the problem, we have to choose 4. And then for the boys, we have here 7 boys, and we need to choose 3. So this is the product between the two. So combination of 7 taken 3 times combination of 9 taken 4 at a time. So again, this is our formula for combination. So we will just substitute. So we have combination of 7 taken 3 at a time. So this is 7 factorial over quantity of 7 minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial times, for the boys, we have, for the girls, we have 9 factorial over quantity of 9 minus 4 factorial times 4 factorial. Simplify further. So we have here 7 factorial, then 7 minus 3, we have here 4 factorial, times 3 factorial, times 9 factorial over 9 minus 4 factorial is 5 factorial, times 4 factorial. So 7 factorial will expand up to 4 factorial. 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 factorial. Then 3 factorial will be expanded as 3 times 2 times 1. 9 factorial will be expanded up to 5 factorial. And we just copy 5 factorial in the denominator part, then expand 4 factorial as 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Next, we have to divide common factor. So 4 factorial divided by 4 factorial is 1. 3 times 2, that is 6. Multiply the remaining factors. So we have 7 times 6. That is equal to 35. Divided by 1 is 35. Also here we have to divide the common factor. So 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial is already 1. Next, 3 times 2. That is 6. 8 can be factored again as 4 times 2. So we can divide the common factor, 4 and 4 here. So the only remaining factors are 9 times 2, that is equal to 18, times 7 is 126, divided by 1 is 126. Now, let's multiply 35 by 126, and that is equal to 4,410. Therefore, there are 4,410 ways to form a team consisting of 3 boys and 4 girls from 7 boys and 9 girls. Another example, a committee of 3 members is to be formed from 5 women and 4 men. The committee must include at least 2 women. In how many ways can this be done? Okay, the problem has a condition that a team must have at least 2 women. The word at least means it can be 2 or 3. Okay, so to solve for this is actually the combination of 5 taken 2. Okay, here, this is for the girls or the women. Okay, at least 2 women, and here we have for the men. We need to have 3 members. So, combination of 5, because there are 5 women and we need to have at least 2, so combination of 5 taken 2. Since it is being said that there should be at least, so we can have 2. So if there are 2 women, then for the men, we can have 1. So combination of 4 taken 1. Plus, you can also have combination of 5 taken 3. It means all are women and 0 men. So all in all, still we have 3 members. So this is actually a combination. Now we will solve. Okay, remember this is still the formula, but we have this. So 5 factorial over quantity of 5 minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial times this one. Okay, that is 4 factorial over quantity of 4 minus 1 factorial times 1 factorial plus 5 factorial, this one, combination of 5 taken 3, and last is this one. Okay, so just use the formula, this one. We will simplify further. So 5 factorial, just copy here in our numerator. Then quantity of 5 minus 3 factorial is 3 factorial times 2 factorial. Then we have here times 4 factorial. 4 minus 1 factorial is 3 factorial times 1 factorial plus 5 factorial over 5 minus 3 factorial is 2 factorial times 3 factorial times 4 factorial over 4 minus 0 is 4 factorial times 0 factorial. Simplify further, so we have 5 factorial will be expanded up to 3 factorial, and then 2 factorial is 2 times 1. 4 factorial is 4 times 3 factorial, and then here we have 3 factorial times 1. 5 factorial, expand up to 3 factorial again, so 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. 2 factorial is expanded as 2 times 1. Then here we have 4 factorial. We may not expand 4 factorial since our denominator here is I has 4 factorial. So 0 factorial is actually equal to 1. That's why we have here 1. Now we have to divide the common factors. So we have 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial. And 4 can be factored out as 2 times 2. So we can divide the common factors 2 and 2. So the remaining factors here is 5 and 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. Divided by 1 is equal to 10. Next, here we can divide 3 factorial by 3 factorial. Then we have 4 times 1 is 4. Divided by 1, we have 4. Next, we have here 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial. 4, 2 times 2, and divide the common factor 2. So we have the remaining factors 5 times 2, and that is equal to 10. So here we have 4 factorial divided by 4 factorial, that is equal to 1. And 1 divided by 1 is equal to 1. Multiply 10 times 4, that is equal to 40. And this one plus 10 times 1 is 10. So therefore, we have to add the 2. So 40 plus 10 is equal to 50. Therefore, there are 50 ways to form a committee with 3 members from 5 women and 4 men that include at least 2 women. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Kindly like, and if you have questions regarding the video, just write it in the comment box. Kindly share to other students for them to learn, master the lesson. Please don't forget to subscribe to be updated for more math lesson videos and turn the bell for notifications. Before I end, let me share to you one of the verses from the Bible. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. That's all for today, and God bless you all.